This is a very personal video that I made, but I felt that it was really necessary to talk about this because realizing that there's so much more to maladaptive daydreaming than just pretending to be in a fantasy world and feeling like you're more happy in these daydreams. It's so much worse because it influences your life in such a way that you start to wonder if the things that you actually try and do in real life is because you're truly passionate about it or because you simply daydreamed about it and in your daydreams you were so much more happy. What is the number one thing that you wish you could tell people about but have to hide it out of fear of being rejected, ridiculed, not taken seriously, or abandoned? What is the thing that you wish other people could know about you and still treat you as a regular human being? I'm a very open and honest person when it comes to maladaptive daydreaming. I talk about the way in which it causes loneliness, depression, and other feelings that have a direct effect on one's mental health. However, I haven't gone into detail about depression and how maladaptive daydreaming has a way of stripping you of every last ounce of happiness you may have clutched onto in hopes that things may change in the future. We all know that maladaptive daydreaming gives people a false sense of happiness. We fantasize about being accepted, being social, being successful, and being happy. But when we return to the real world, we may experience none of those. Apart from all of these things being fake, maladaptive daydreaming also eats away at a person's sense of self. We will spend hours daydreaming about becoming successful and happy if we do a certain task. So we do it, and then we're left open-handed, waiting for what we were promised by our thoughts. But we never get it. We are problem solvers. When we deal with something we don't like, it's natural for us to fantasize about all of our options, how things will be different if we do this, or what could go wrong when we do that. We try new things with nothing but hope, only to receive a cruel reminder that the life in our mind isn't the same as the life in our reality. This video will make a lot of people uncomfortable, because I will be talking about some serious things that I feel need to be addressed. Today, I will be talking about depression. Maladaptive daydreaming is a manipulative condition. I can almost relate it to a siren. A siren is a monster that disguises itself as something that a person desires most, and as soon as someone gets close to it, it kills them. They receive something much worse than they thought they were receiving, and maladaptive daydreaming is very similar. It offers things that we either need or want, and it offers solutions, but it's not uncommon for people to be left with empty hands and confused thoughts, which eventually causes them to turn on themselves. I found an article called The Dark Side of Daydreaming. It's not about maladaptive daydreaming, but it still highlights the serious mental effects that daydreaming alone could have on people. When I read a part of this article, I want you to remember that maladaptive daydreaming is worse than what's being described here. Several studies have shown that spontaneous thoughts can be open and expansive, allowing the mind to creatively wander through different topics, helping people come up with expected solutions to problems. But a recent article in Clinical Psychological Science shows how the kind of spontaneous thoughts that just pop into our heads can sometimes have negative consequences. According to Igor Machetti from Ghent University and colleagues, individuals who struggle with negative emotions or who are under intense stress are particularly vulnerable to negative thoughts when their mind wanders. When an at-risk individual is struggling to accomplish a goal, their spontaneous thoughts and daydreams may take a dark turn. Instead of open-ended wanderings, they may get locked into a repetitive negative train of thought that produces thoughts like, "I'll never find a job," "the boss hates me," or "I'm going to screw up this big presentation." In other words, a powerful and negative emotion reactivity to internal cues has the capacity to lock the train of thoughts into a thematically narrow content channel and to substantially reduce the breadth of the associative network, the researchers write. Marchetti and colleagues note that these repetitive negative thoughts share many of the features of cognitive risk factors for depression. Consequently, for at-risk individuals, mind wandering and daydreaming may pave the way towards depressive symptoms or other mood disorders, and studies suggest that may be especially true when they engage in daydreaming rather than problem solving as response to stress. I don't know what's real anymore. Did I come out as transgender because I believed that the girl I liked, and still like to this day, is straight and might have said yes when I asked her out, or is it because I'm actually trans? Did I want to go into medicine because I wanted to win arguments against people I disagreed with regarding medicine and doctors, or is it because I actually love medicine? Did I want to come back to Hout Bay and leave the city because I actually wanted to be a tattoo artist, or did I do it because I knew I had almost no time to get out of my parents' house? I don't know. I don't know what I want in life, and I don't know whether any of the major choices I've made in my life is because I truly felt like I wanted to make them, or if it was just because I felt happy when I daydreamed about them a few times. I do know that I genuinely enjoy making YouTube videos, but that's about it. I currently feel extremely lost and alone, and I blame a large part of this on my maladaptive daydreaming. I need this condition to be known, and I need it to be taken seriously by medical professionals around the world. I've seen a few posts on Reddit from maladaptive daydreamers who have no idea that they have it. I relate to their posts on such a personal level that I may have just as well been the one to post it. Maladaptive daydreaming is a terrible thing to have, because it influences people without their knowledge, and so they blame themselves for never reaching what they saw themselves reach so vividly in their daydreams. A lot of people will tell me in the comments that they love their maladaptive daydreaming. Maladaptive daydreaming is a coping mechanism for them, and it boosts their creativity. I agree that those are good things. However, I disagree that that makes maladaptive daydreaming a good condition, because it isn't. It is overwhelmingly problematic, and I feel that this hasn't been addressed enough. Maladaptive daydreaming is destructive. When I lived with my parents and while I was still in school, I saw very little problem with maladaptive daydreaming, despite not knowing what it was. Now that I'm living alone, I'm fully responsible for my own income, my own job, and my own happiness. Things have changed severely. My mental health is in shambles because of this thing promising me happiness and content, but showing me over and over and over again how those promises were lies, despite the amount of precision work I have put into making those promises a reality.